Right, let's connect it up, guys. Today, October 17th, 2021, coming at you, talking about the Walking Dead universe as a whole. Clearly going to talk about the Walking Dead Season 11A, Part 1, whatever you would like to call it. A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. The first part, maybe a little bit of the second part. We'll maybe save that for next week. But ultimately, guys, we're here to talk about the Walking Dead universe. Got the spoiler warning in the title. I'm going to talk about the Walking Dead, World Beyond, and Fear the Walking Dead. Any news, everything that's going around. So I have watched the World Beyond Season 2, Episode 4, I believe, and Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 2. So I saw every episode that's of both of those shows, and Fear the Walking Dead is, we'll talk about it, but it's a little slow. I see what they're doing already, but ultimately it's something to watch. Loving the Walking Dead universe, supporting the Walking Dead universe, and so we gotta still have some videos coming out. Try to keep daily videos. If I miss a day here or there, it's probably what it's gonna be. But ultimately, we gotta start making a little more videos about the World Beyond. If there's anything worth talking about right now, there really hasn't been much to talk about for the story's sake. Now, do you guys like World Beyond? Let me know in the comments here, top chat, super chat, whatever you want to talk about there. Please don't talk about any spoilers. For anything about that going into the last half hour, we'll talk about the spoilers, so please don't post anything in the chat from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, or 1 o'clock to 1:30 p.m., wherever you're at. This is my Florida time zone, so East Coast time. But John Rod says, how about them Cowboys? Yes, they're looking good. They're playing good. They play the Patriots today, so pretty good. We're doing well with the Cowboys, and can't complain. You know, they're one loss away from being undefeated. We'll see. They play the Patriots today. Hopefully they get the win. I feel like they're a better team, but you never know how it goes down at Foxborough. A little tricky. Mike Allen says, how's the job, Bri? It's okay. It's better. So, Mike Allen, thank you for asking about that. I'm a physical therapist in the state of Florida. I'm doing home health now full time, so I'm treating patients Monday through Friday. Varies on how many patients. We've just had a surveyor come around for the state auditing thing. For every 3 years they do it, and we made it through. We're doing well, and it's one of those things where not enough hours in the day for YouTube, the book series, car stuff, house stuff, job stuff. It's just crazy there as well too. So all of you guys are having a good weekend, month. It's fall, but I live in Florida, so it's actually a little cool down today. It was nice. It's going to be a little cooler going, for a couple days, and then it's Florida, so we're not really going to get much. Hopefully by Halloween, it'll be much cooler. Mike Allen says, I got demoted in rank. What happened, Mike? Mike's one of our military people. He's in the military, and I enjoy talking to all you guys, but definitely Mike about military service, and he's an active duty person in the military. Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, did you see Halloween Kills? Also, it's Eminem's birthday today, so happy to the GOAT. Happy birthday, Marshall Mathers. But Halloween Kills, I did not see Halloween Kills, and the thing I hear that I've read is that Halloween, the people making the Halloween movies, they said they have plans for so many more movies, and I saw something about 10 more movies. What's the point in watching the Michael Myers Halloween story if he has no chance of ever being killed? What's the point? I watched Halloween, the latest one, and the way it ends, you're like, oh, they got him. And then I guess it's going to start from the house and he's going to be okay. And you're like, great. So what's the point of this? What's the point of watching this Halloween movies? Not for me, but you guys let me know, do you watch that stuff? I don't know. What's the point of it being? Jonathan Wells says, it's because he's immortal. Okay, so I want to just watch an immortal being who can't ever be taken out. What's the point? There's no reason to watch that stuff because there's no resolution, there's no conclusion, there's going to be no ending. It's just going to be it over and over and over and over again and different things. And it just, I guess that's just what the franchise is going to do, that it's just going to be different ways and different things for him to keep coming back. So I don't know. We'll have to see what it is. Maybe I'll watch it. It's on Peacock. I know that definitely watch it there too. Some people are saying it's not that good. Some people, I don't know. But not for me. I was going to watch Day of the Dead on Sci-Fi, and I watched the first 10 minutes, and it's all right. It's got the cheese factor going. It's on Sci-Fi, so I don't know if Sci-Fi is really the best, network for some things. I believe that's where the other zombie show was on, and then Sharknado and stuff was on Sci-Fi, I believe. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. Remakes are happening all over the place. They got a Chucky show. They got a I Know What You Did Last Summer show. They got, it's just Z Nation. That's what it was. Mike was blanking on the thing. But so many different movies now are going to be turned into shows. And I don't know if it's going to be, worth watching. But I'll check it out. I got to get back to it. Like I said, I'm going to watch the first 10 minutes. But, it's Day of the Dead. It's taking place in Pennsylvania. You're following one of the younger kids. I don't know if he's a teenager or what he is. And he's got some problems at home with the mom and the dad and stuff. So it kind of starts in the zombie apocalypse, then goes back in the backtrack of stories too. So, but overall, guys, what are you thinking of The Walking Dead Season 11, the first part? So I made I made a video about the first 8 episodes. I kind of reviewed it, recap, broke it down, discussed it a little bit. And overall, it's decent. It's a pretty good 8 episodes. Maggie's back. Negan, Maggie, that dynamic, the Commonwealth. Daryl and Carol don't really have anything. They really haven't had much story. They haven't really had much dialogue. Connie came back around. Leah, Daryl, the Reapers, Pope. Kind of, some things were good. Some things weren't. They missed the mark overall, I would say, with Pope. It's just something that it's done. The 8 episodes are done. And now we have, I don't know if we're going to have a writer's strike or if it's writer. I don't think it's writers. I think it's actually like film cast, and they should have a strike on Monday, the 18th, I believe. So I don't know if that's going to affect The Walking Dead, how long it's going to last, if they're going to be able to make it up, if that's going to have problems for filming. I don't know where it's at in the story-wise, if it's the second part, the end of the second part, going into the third, because typically they film May, take a week off, another week off or so, and then November. They film right before Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure if it's going to be filming all the way to right before Thanksgiving, and then November, December, back filming January. Don't know what the plan is. I don't work for them, so I don't know how it goes. But there has been some recent filming in and around Alexandria, in Sonoy. There have been some different banners up, some different stuff. So it's when they film around Alexandria in Sonoy, you get to see more cast, more production, more story, more. You get to see more. And it's been pretty great that they still have filmed in and around Sonoy. So I'm definitely excited to. Beaver says, IATSE reached the deal. Strike averted. Good stuff. Awesome. So I guess we don't have to worry about that. I'm excited to hear that because I don't even remember what season it was. Season 7, season 8. Was there a writer's strike? And maybe it was like a week or something that there was a strike. So I don't know if it really affected any of the filming with it, but I know there's been previous strikes about different hours, different pay, different accommodations, different stuff. And, you got to take care of yourself. And if stuff being taken advantage of, if the hours aren't right, if the production's not right, if the precautions and stuff aren't right, then you got to stick up for yourself. I'm all for that for sure. Rob Rischel asks Q&A, do you really get to see any cast when they are filming, or is it super restricted? Rob Rischel, it depends on where they are filming. Now, if they are filming down a street that's blocked off with barriers, police cars, and they're filming away from the road where you would be standing, you're not going to see anything typically. If you are in Alexandria, if it's filming outside Alexandria around Sonoy down Main Street, you can see stuff. It depends greatly, highly where they're filming. A lot of the pictures that I've shared with you were right on Main Street in downtown Sonoy, which is a small little town. It's like the smallest, cutest little town I've ever been to. And it's great, but it depends on where they're filming. They have filmed recently behind some buildings, in front of buildings, down Main Street where Woodbury was used for season 3 of The Walking Dead. So you get to see more and more and more, and you get to see that stuff because it's right there and there's really no place to hide. They can't block off everything, so you get to see more of that. So it depends highly on where they're filming. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, why didn't Connie say anything about how her and what's her face got separated after the explosion? I forget her name sometimes. So, Magna and Connie got separated. Mike Allen says, my wife's hometown bride. Pretty cool stuff. Sonoy's a great town. It's definitely got the booming housing market. It's something, if it was cheaper to live, I probably would look to buy something there. And maybe down the road, I don't know if anything is going to go back down for price-wise. There's only so much land and people want to move to places. But I do like Georgia, and Sonoy's a great place. If you've never been there and you can make it there and you can fly there and travel, I highly recommend it. There's been other filming stuff there besides The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead is the most notable for a variety of reasons. So, Xmas Girl says, I got pics of Carol and Lydia on the balcony overlooking Alexandria from season 10 when Carol captures the Whisperer. So that's pretty awesome. You know, you get to see a bunch of different photos, and that's basically inside Alexandria or inside there or right outside, and you can see it, but it's not always the case when they're filming. You're not always going to be able to see stuff there too. But overall, The Walking Dead season 8 is done the first third. It comes back February 20th, 2022 on AMC, so I'm hoping it's the 13th on AMC Plus. It says AMC on the 20th, so I would assume if they're going to continue with the week early release, they're doing it with The World Beyond. They're doing it with Fear the Walking Dead, so why wouldn't they keep it up? I think they will. So we're less than 4 months away from when The Walking Dead returns, and it'll be here before you know it because we got October, November, December. That'll probably be Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, nothing in January, and then mid-February, it'll be back. I would assume we're going to get a trailer, probably December or January, or maybe even before that, for The Walking Dead Season 11B. So that'll be episode 1109 through 1116, and then they'll be filming January, February, and March, as far as I know, for the third and final part of The Walking Dead Season 11, which will probably air either August or October. We just don't know when it's going to be actually put up. I would assume October because it just makes more sense for them to stretch it out, take us into the ending of the year, and maybe Fear the Walking Dead films, and well, they're probably still filming now, season 7, and that'll probably be the summer show. So 7B, because it's only A and B for that, or 1 and 2, however you want to think of it. But ultimately, the Walking Dead universe is still going strong. It's not nearly what it was. It's not going to be ever what it was. Some people have checked out. Some people have not really cared too much about the show since season 7, season 8, season 9. It was like boom, boom, boom. So many major things happened to hurt the series. You know, like the season 6 finale, I don't know if it really hurt the series because so many people were invested over the summer. What happened? Negan, lineup, Daryl being taken away, Glenn, Abraham being picked. Season 7, episode 1 is one of the best episodes of the series, in my opinion. So it didn't really hurt. The rest of the season, not so great. It was like so much stuff they glanced over, passed over. Just the Negan show really took over, and that really hurt the ratings and hurt that people gave up on it. Then season 8, Carl gone. That really rubbed people the wrong way. Followed by season 9, Rick goes away in the first 5 episodes. And then Michonne leaves in season 10. So even 7, 8, 9, and 10 have really hurt the series for what it was. We're losing cast members all the time. And it's just what happens when you're running up on 11 seasons of a show. That's in a crazy amount of episodes and seasons for, a show that really changed the game, in my opinion, too. So, Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, did you see video footage of the Last of Us series? I saw them on Facebook. Can't wait. I saw some photos. I saw Joel and Ellie. Looks great. I'm excited for The Last of Us, and it's pretty awesome if it's done the right way. HBO really does a great job with all their shows. I think it's going to be a really good show. I'm excited to watch it whenever it's coming out. They're filming now, so I would assume it'll probably be next summer. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I'm just guessing around there. So, ultimately, guys, the Walking Dead universe is like I said, still going strong. We're watching Fear the Walking Dead now. If you haven't seen the episode 701, I'll talk about that in the last half hour. I'm going to talk about 701, 702, and the first 4 episodes of The World Beyond. Does everybody watch The World Beyond? Does everybody watch Fear the Walking Dead? I know some people said they only watch the main show, the mothership show of Walking Dead. So ultimately, it's pretty cool, an idea of The Walking Dead. So you have the Walking Dead tree, and then you have these branches or spin-offs, however you want to think of it. And we're like, if it's better, The Walking Dead is great. More Walking Dead is better, right? Well, not necessarily. If it's not done right, if it doesn't progress the story, if it doesn't enhance the story, really change things in a good way or branch off things that really, you can miss the mark. And I feel like early Fear the Walking Dead really missed the mark. The first season of The World Beyond really missed the mark as well. And I don't know if it's by design, poor writing, what it is, because ultimately you can do things in a different way. Like Fear the Walking Dead was a clean slate. You could have done anything you wanted with that. World Beyond, same thing. You can do whatever you want with these characters, with these spin-offs. That being said, Tales of the Walking Dead, hopefully you saw my video about it. It's going to premiere next summer, 2022. Probably like June or July, I would assume. I think that would be the next show. So I would assume it'll be The Walking Dead 1109 to 1116, so part 2. February, March into April. So probably May or June will probably be Tales of the Walking Dead. That's going to be 6 episodes, an hour long each. Old characters, new characters, some animation, some live action, whatever they want it to be. So not sure when it's going to actually be on television, just says summer 2022. And it would be really cool to do things in a way that enhances the story. If we're going to see something to do with, Abraham, Glenn, Hilltop. But Hilltop is different now than when it was. So I'm sure my Tales of the Walking Dead will probably be on AMC Plus for sure, and I'm guessing AMC. It'll probably be like the Origins type thing. I would assume it's going to be an AMC Plus show because that's what they want you to get. They want you to buy AMC Plus for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, watching the episodes a week earlier, plus Tales of the Walking Dead, plus all this stuff that way. Now, ultimately, it's just something that is filler. I don't think it's going to be like the Negan show, the Michonne show. I don't think there's going to be that many good things on Tales of the Walking Dead. I hope it is. I think it'll be great if it's done the right way. I just hope it's worth watching. That's the biggest thing. And there's not been any word about the villain show, whether it's going to be Alpha, Beta, Governor, Negan, anything about that. There was kind of talk about that, and then there hasn't really been any news about the Carol and Daryl show because they're still filming, season 11, so you can't get too far ahead of things, and that's okay. But ultimately, Fear the Walking Dead is so far behind the Walking Dead timeline, and you can easily have, a time jump of 6 years. You can do whatever you want. It's definitely something that it can catch up real quick. And there's all these different posts on Instagram and stuff that I'm seeing that they're like, Lenny James is in talks to return for The Walking Dead season 11. Well, not really. They say the thing that was said in an insider interview with Lenny James is that he's had discussions about returning. That doesn't mean anything that he's in talks and he's in production, he's ready to do it and there's scripts for him, how to come back, how to do this thing. There's very different of him saying he's in talks to return or there's been conversations about that, but he can't talk about it anymore. That's it. He couldn't give any information about it, as he shouldn't, because it would be a major spoiler for what it was. So ultimately, does he return? Does he not? Let's just worry about Fear the Walking Dead right now because that's where he is. Will he come back around? I hope so. Will he connect with Rick? I really hope so. Will Rick and or Michonne come back to the main show? I hope so, but let's manage our expectations. That's a big key phrase here. Manage expectations. I was fine with The World Beyond Season 1 because I did not have high hopes for that show. I did not think it was going to explain Rick Grimes, where he was, what he was doing. We're going to see Rick. It's going to be about these kids and their story and the Civic Republic and the CRM and Omaha, maybe Nebraska, their Portland scientist thing. That's what it kind of turned into. The first 5-6 episodes, not very good. Episodes 7 through 10 were good. They were worth watching. But those 4 episodes, not enough for a whole season. So they stretched it out. They got 10 episodes. And I didn't know last live stream, I talked about The World Beyond Season 2. From my research, what I've seen is that it's another 10-episode season. So episode 4 came out today on AMC Plus. 4 episodes in. After the first episode, episodes 2 and 3 are pretty good. Episode 4, I'll talk about in 10 minutes. But it's still not giving us enough for anything. It just seems like it's, hey guys, we're going to explore this minor little thing that has nothing to do with the main show that you love, and it has anything to do with Rick possibly, so keep watching, you never know. But then in interviews, Rick's not going to show up, we're not going to see this, we're not going to see that, but we're going to see some sort of connection with The Walking Dead. And if you saw the trailer, and you saw news, and you see photos, you know that Jadis is going to be on the show. We haven't seen her yet. Probably going to stretch it out like they love to do, and it's probably going to be some sort of connection point in the final 2 episodes. If it's 9 and 10 or episode 10 or whatever, it's going to be towards the end of it, I'm guessing, because they're going to make it, keep watching. Haven't seen her yet. Keep watching. So ultimately, I just wanted to connect more. Like, it just feels like The Walking Dead's over here and Fear the Walking Dead's here and World Beyond's over here. Like, you can't even see them in the same light, but it's the same Walking Dead tree. It just doesn't fit to me to have The Walking Dead be the main focal point, and then you have the name in there. Fear the Walking Dead World Beyond. Okay, World Beyond. So World Beyond, so different worlds. It's beyond the United States. Are we going to talk about other things outside the United States? Is the Civic Republic outside the United States? Are they bigger than we actually think? Are they just inside the continental U.S.? Are they in Mexico? Are they in Canada? Are they in the Caribbean? Are they in South America? Wherever. There's so many different things. The zombie apocalypse has to be being fought in other countries too. Like, it'd be pretty stupid if it's just in the United States, if they just mention things a little bit more. But it's enough with too much more. Give us more connections with the stuff we want to see. Rick, Jadis, Fear the Walking Dead, Isabel, Walking Dead, some sort of connection with the garbage people. And then people are talking about, they're going to answer this, they're going to talk about this. So I'm going to make a video maybe today, maybe tomorrow, sometimes this week. I'll post it. It's going to talk about The World Beyond Season 2 and what Matthew Negretti said about The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 2, how it connects with other stuff, minimally, maximally, big things, minor things. How's it going to be from the showrunner, Matthew Negretti, too. So we'll have to see how it goes down, but overall, it's something to watch. Some things make you scratch your head and make you go, and you're like, what about this? Or that doesn't make sense. Fear the Walking Dead, I don't want to talk too much about it before the last half hour because some people haven't seen it yet. And again, it's just still weird to see how many episodes I've seen of both shows, and some people haven't seen anything so far, so I don't want to ruin anything too much, even though it says spoiler warning. We'll talk about that in about 6 minutes or two. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, will Maggie or baby Herschel see Glenn in a dream like Rosita did when she dreamed about Abraham? I guess. That's up to the writers to have that in the script, to have that Maggie was talking about Glenn, seeing Glenn, or maybe she'll say she hasn't dreamed about Glenn anytime soon, or it's been a while. Because there really isn't any pictures of them, right? Like in the world, you could just go to a photo album or go to your phone, I guess, right? If you could hold a charge and look at a picture. There's no picture of Glenn and Abraham, or Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, I guess paintings, But what happened to those paintings from, at the carnival, the fiesta at the Kingdom? There was a drawing of Rick. That'd be really cool if there was one of Glenn or one of Maggie and, this and that, or those like caricatures. Like how funny would that be, right? So I don't know. It's one of those things that just make you think about it a little bit too. But overall, guys, hopefully you're doing well. I want to just give an update about my book series. So I talked about it last time. So Captured is the book that'll be out later this month. I have 3 chapters left. My wife has 3 chapters left, 16, 17, and 18. It's coming together really nicely, and I'm super excited to have this book be released this month. It's book 15 of the Fight for Us series, and In 100 Days is my prequel story to it, and that's part 1 and part 2. So when this comes out, we'll have 17 books of the series, and it's going strong. Really, man, I just can't believe so many years have gone by since I started it. And, that's just proof that you should start something too. If you think about doing something, whether it's writing, dancing, photography, whatever it is, right? It's something that you should definitely look into doing. I remember asking people, does anybody read books anymore? And people are like, I read, I do this, I do that. I read a different book every month or something like that too. People are reading different stuff all the time. So I'm like, okay, I think I have an idea for a book series. So then I started writing it, started doing it. And it was cool to see how it came together. I've learned a lot over these soon to be 15 books. And the biggest thing I would say, I can't say it enough, is write, edit, have someone else edit it, and then edit it again. And then if you're happy with it, check it, grammar, punctuation, anything under the sun, then release it. That's the biggest thing I can say about it. And before I released it too soon and didn't edit it enough, and it's just a whole big mess, but you can learn from my mistakes to go in there too. So it's definitely something that, I like talking about, being transparent and being real. And that's the real deal with the book series, So it's ultimately something that I can just pass on. I definitely like the idea of sharing this story with you guys. So hopefully Fight for Us will be something you're into as well. Like DG says, wow, I think I first found your channel, you were at book 3 or 4. So that's awesome. So yeah, some people have come and gone with the channel. Some people were here before I even started the book series. Some people are doing, like DG was here, book 3 or 4. So now I'm coming up on book 15, and it's come a long way. With any good thing in life, you've put the time in, you'll get better at it. Whether it's writing, cooking, cleaning, studying, learning some sort of skill, trade, or some profession, you'll definitely get better at it the more you do. And it's just remarkable to see where people have come and go. And that's why I'm a therapist, where I've seen people for a couple visits and they're doing much better. I see people for 1, 2, 6 weeks, so many different visits over the 6-week pattern. And then I see new people and new people and new people. People get better. People get worse. People do their homework. People do their exercises. People don't. People improve. People don't. So it's a part of life, but I've seen certain things. And it's definitely something that I recommend. Working hard, sweat equity, it really pays off. It really does in anything you do. You'll get better at it. Just keep trying. So I remember when I think I've fixed the settings now. Remember, guys, back in the day when I was doing these live streams and it was glitchy and it was, buffering and it was do that. And so I just remember that seems like so long ago, but it was probably only a couple months ago that you're like, man, I can't believe that's where it was too. So Lindsay Rupp says, Q&A, would you ever consider doing a compendium in the end of your books, or do you like them being read as singles? That's a good question, Lindsay. The way I do it through my publisher is I have files that go up as one file. So each book is a single file that you have to have it that way. I would have to talk with them. What I would love to do actually is to have single books with the covers and how it is, with it being like, you could buy a bundle of books, like the first 5 in a pack, and it'd be like a little cheaper there too, than versus individually. but it's a publisher thing more than that. I would love to have it that way too. So, all right, guys, we're coming up on spoiler territory. Laura asks, PT, do you think Gabe and or Negan will ever mention seeing the CRM helicopter to anybody? I hope so, right? I mean, for all of us who watch the show, we know that Negan was captured by Jadis, and he saw the helicopter. He was going to be traded. He was going to be bit and then traded. I don't know why he had to be bit, because he could have just been traded, and then they can have him be bit and have the experiment. Like, he doesn't have to be bit right then and there. He could just be traded away. It doesn't make sense to me if you think about it. And also the thing with Father Gabriel, he heard the person over the radio, then got knocked out, and you're like, what's up with that? How come they've never talked about it? That was like so long ago too. Jadis went away. No one's brought anything up about it at all. There's been no conversations. It's just, I don't know, things like that. I hope so. I hope it's brought up too. So, all right, guys, we're getting into spoiler territory now for the last half hour. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but we've been warned. Spoiler warning. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead, because it's only 2 episodes, and then I'll get into the world beyond. So season 7, episode 1 is titled The Beacon. It focuses on Strand and a new character named Will, and also Howard. You don't see Morgan, you don't see Grace, you don't see anybody else whatsoever. Well, you do see Alicia of a painting on the wall, but she's not actually there too. So Mike Allen says, CRM never take me alive. I'm not going down without a fight, right? So we meet this new guy in a hazmat suit, mask, just living in the zombie apocalypse dystopian universe with Fallout now. And it looks really good. Well, it looks terrible, but it looks like it should. Orange gas in the atmosphere and the sky, and walkers are melting, and it's just not really good. So we're meeting this guy, Will, who's living in a van down by the highway, down by the river. It's a red van, by the way, so you know how we feel about red things. And he comes across a bunch of people, or these people come across him. It's the scouting people. They pick him up. They capture him. He goes back. Turns out it's Strand's people. The guy goes up an elevator, locks the gate, gets a gun pointed at him by Strand. He's interviewed and fed, just interrogated. Doesn't make the cut. So it was going to get given away, but Will slides the necklace to Strand, and it's Alicia's necklace. So there's a big connection with Alicia, Will, and Strand. Alicia is not seen, but she's definitely impacted. We have a note in the place that's called Padre. A lot of people think it's San Padre Island. It's an island that's probably safe from the fallout. It's most likely a safe place from the nuclear blast and the warheads. So I think it's a factor that should be a thing we'll see either in the end of the first part of season 7, so 708, into season 7 part 2, or if it's stretched out even longer, hopefully it's not that longer, but Padre is a note that's on the thing. Will ends up being killed by Strand. Strand is definitely the villain person. And I kind of like to see that Strand is getting more and more like the villain, because he's kind of been a villain the entire time. He's been looking out for himself, CYA, save your own butt, do what you got to do, and that's it. So Will comes and goes. The actor did a good job. I like the connections where they're going, but we'll have to see what happens there too. So BJ Logan 007, would you consider making your books into a TV show or animated cartoon? Yes and yes, BJ Logan. I would do either of those things for sure. So Strand at his tower place with Howard, they get the light, which is the beacon, which is from a lighthouse. So that's called the beacon too. So I don't know what's going to happen with Strand and Morgan, if Morgan's going to take out Strand, but I hope so. I really hope so. That's how it goes down. So ultimately, 702 is the Morgan, Grace, Baby Momo, Rufus episode. So the first episode is Strand. The second episode is Morgan and Grace. And so it looks like they're doing episodes for each character, and episode 703 is going to be John Dory Sr. and June. So it gets to be, this episode then. Episode 4 could be Althea or Dwight and, or whatever. It's probably going to be Dwight and Sherry. And then you have to see what happens with Daniel, Luciana, and the rest of the group in another episode. So it looks like every episode so far is going to be focused on one group of people. First one, Strand. Second one, Morgan and Grace. So they're in the submarine. They're trying to survive. Baby Morgan is crying and crying and crying. Grace says, what's wrong? Morgan says, she's hungry. So Grace puts on her hazmat stuff, her respirator stuff, and she goes down the submarine, walks around. She has a timer on her, which is set for 6 hours. That's the most allowed time to be in the fallout, is what Grace came up with. That's the episode title, 6 hours. So Grace goes around, finds a walker in a shopping cart that's like melted. She goes in, finds some rats in a store, finds a can of formula. As she's looking at the can of formula, people come in the back of the supermarket. She drops the can. She hides underneath a shelf that falls down, really conveniently, by the way, falls down, and she's covered by it. The two people look at the can of formula, and they shoot the rat, or the one guy shoots the rat, clips the can of formula, and now it's contaminated and it's done. Then they leave the store. Grace looks at the can, scans it with her Geiger counter, and the readings are off the chart, so she can't find it. She breaks down. She leaves the store. She says, I'm right here. Like, she's tired of it. She doesn't want to live anymore. She doesn't want to do anything anymore. Grace, I understand, but it's kind of annoying. It comes across as like, if you don't want to be there, just don't be there. Don't do anything that puts Morgan in danger, the baby in danger, anything. Just take yourself out. Do what you got to do. But she thinks about doing that. Then she goes back to the submarine, and there's no food. Morgan is saying, I'm going to go out now. You went out. I'm going to go out. Grace says, I'll go back out again. Morgan says, you can't go out. You were just there. You came up with the idea that you can't go out more than, so many hours. So it's Morgan's time to go out. He leaves the submarine. Baby Morgan's crying. It's like enough with the crying. Like, it's crying so much. We get it. Then she plays the radio, or she plays the tape where the song's singing, quiets the baby Morgan down. Grace goes to sleep, wakes up, Morgan comes back. They decide that Morgan didn't find anything outside because he didn't look for anything. He's been working on a car this entire time to fix it up and to drive so many hours away. They map out where the bombs hit and stuff. The fallout should be less. Meanwhile, the baby's crying and more. It's like the baby crying so much this episode, which I get it. It's kind of annoying, but it's just crying. So Grace doesn't want to go. Morgan's like, let's just go. Let's just drive away. Rufus gets into the car. They put baby Morgan, who's in like this cute little hazmat suit that they made, and they go in the car. They, contemplate what to do, where to go, and they fight about this and that. Morgan's driving down the road, and it's not safe, and the counter's going off, and they have so much time that's gone by. They go to a town. They go into the town. Morgan has a tape that's in there to play music. It's the tape that Grace had for Athena, and Grace starts talking on the tape from the previous thing. She starts freaking out. She's like, turn it off. Just turn the volume off. Eject the tape. Like, it's not that hard, but they freak out. They struggle. Morgan crashes the car. The wheel gets bent. They can't drive it. There's an auto body place that they can kind of use. The two people that were in the store when Grace was there before come back out. It's these two white people that were contaminated with, whatever. The chick's nose is like melted off. It's pretty gross. It's pretty cool, pretty gross at the same time. So it's something that makes sense that people would still be alive but struggling from the fallout. The two people, want to take the baby Morgan, and they open the car door. Rufus runs away. They don't even care about Rufus the rest of the time, but Rufus comes back later on with a different person. We'll talk about that too. So the two people, I think it's like B and Fred are their name. The woman's name is B and the guy's name is Fred. They're looking at the baby and they're like, oh, it's Emma. Her name's Morgan. What are you talking about? Like, it's not Emma. But they're just crazy people. So they fight, they argue, they do this. They decide to go back and take the car into the auto body shop so Morgan can repair it. When in doubt, Morgan can do everything. He can make weapons. He can do this. He's a carpenter. He can fix cars. He can do it all. Morgan can do it all, right? So he's changing the tire out. these walkers come banging on the glass of the door around where the auto body shop is. It's just like open, by the way. Like Fallout would just clearly come in, but either way. And also Rufus is just walking around the Fallout with no mask on. Again, the animals would be dying from the Fallout. So either way, they're talking about this, and you know, Grace was giving up. She didn't want to be anymore. She tells Morgan that. So these two people want to kidnap Morgan, calling her Emma, even though it's not Emma, it's Morgan. And Morgan's like, okay, I'm going to distract them and I'll take them out. Well, they have a gun. They will shoot you. Well, I can stop them. And so they talk and they look at the different walkers who are basically like melting. You know, it's like that one guy from RoboCop who's like, he's like melting. These walkers, you know, are contaminated. So they talk about going somewhere and they bring up Padre. And Morgan's like, what? Padre? So that's the second time we heard Padre. So is it San Pedro Island? Is it an island away from things? Could be, probably, possibly, potentially. I think so, right? So these people kind of talk with Morgan and Grace, and you know, you find out stuff about, you know, they have a map where the bombs were. They both know where the bombs landed and stuff hit. They talk about if you're driving that way, you're going to hit the crater, I think is what they called it. And that's where all these people came from. They were in a community that lived close to here, and people died from the fallout and, you know, explosions and the just nuclear stuff in the sky. So I know the idea of these people is filling in the gaps, but they're crazy. They end up killing Fred, who's going to, you know, kill the walker or kill Morgan, baby Morgan, that is. But so Fred and B get into the car, drive through the doors of the auto body shop, go away. Morgan fought them off, grabbed the gun, shot at the car, blows out the back window, and then fires another shot, and then the car just stops. So then Morgan and Grace run down to the car. They, you know, fight with B and whatever again. And then as they're in the car, Fred takes baby Morgan into a place, and Grace goes after him. B stays by the car with Morgan. Morgan looks down the road, and there's a car or a truck. I think it's it's hard to see what it is, but there's lights on top of it, and it stops and it's looking in the distance. And Morgan goes into the car and uses it as like a bunker kind of thing. The person gets out of the car, and Morgan's like, "Stop right there! I'm going to shoot." The guy keeps walking. Boom, ding, hits him. Boom, shoots him again, and he falls down. So Morgan's like, "All right, we got him. It's over." So then Morgan, also before that, Fred throws a suitcase in the back of the car that's next to baby Morgan. And as Morgan is shooting the guy that's dressed in like metal, I guess he's got like his own armor that he put on, the bag starts moving and like moaning and groaning. It's like, something's in there. And it's the baby Emma, we assume. We don't see it. So B is like, Fred didn't know, and Fred was this, and Fred was that. So Fred ended up killing their baby Emma, and they put it in the bag, and it became a walker. And so you don't see it, but Morgan shoots the bag and kills the walker baby that you don't ever see. B freaks out, and they use this can on a string, right? Thing, and Morgan says, Grace, you got to watch out for Fred. And Fred's good to go after baby Morgan, who's crying like so much in this episode. So Fred's going to smother baby Morgan. Grace shoots Fred and kills Fred. And then they decide to get out. I don't even know where B goes, but Morgan, Grace, and baby Morgan get into the car, and they drive back to the submarine. Remember, Rufus was left. He wasn't there at all. We see later on where Rufus went. Baby Morgan and Grace go back to the submarine. They put him down. As they go back to the submarine, there's people there with guns. Turns out it's Howard that is from Strand's group. Howard says, Grace, you can come with me. The baby can come with me, but not you, Morgan. So Morgan's not allowed to go, right? So Grace says, I'm not going to go. We're going to build something here. Howard takes all their supplies and food from the pantry, from the cabinets, and they leave. Morgan, Grace and Baby Morgan go up and check the pantry and the cabinets. They're all cleaned out. As Baby Morgan is crawling now, very cute. Baby Morgan's very cute. She's crawling around. Grace finds this little hatch thing. She pops it open. There's all this food. There's powdered milk. There's oatmeal. There's all this stuff. They got the supplies. They got the food. They're good to go to live on the submarine for, I don't know, a long period of time. But it ends with, I believe, a guy in the car. Oh, also, the car drove away when Morgan was watching in the distance. The car backed away. That was there. So the guy that was shot by Morgan evidently wasn't killed, gets up, gets into the car, and drives away. As the episode ends with the car that's there, Rufus walks to a fire that's already lit with a can of beans or something. So Rufus is with this new person. The person walks over and sits down, has the box. It says Morgan Jones on the box. The guy opens the lid of the box, picks out the head, which is the bounty hunter guy, looks at it, and then it pans around. It's the brother of the bounty hunter guy. Is he a twin brother? Is he not? Is it the same actor? Looks pretty similar. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks close enough. And he's looking at it, and he's like, sorry, brother. And he looks at his brother in there, and Rufus is with the bounty hunter brother. Is that Rufus ain't loyal to Morgan, that's for sure. And that's how the episode ends. So the bounty hunter guy is going to come after Morgan, which is kind of cool. We'll have to see how it goes down with... it just makes me think of the trailer because I think of the time that we're looking at the tower where Strand lives. We see Sherry, Dwight, and then a person in the armor. I'm guessing that's Morgan in the armor there that he took from Emil, the bounty hunter's brother. So he's going to kill the bounty hunter's brother, take his armor like he did with the jacket and the hat and the axe. So I think it's going to be a similar thing to season 6. So that's how the episode ends, season 703. We see Morgan on the radio talking to Strand. So it's going to be Morgan and Strand interacting a little bit, but it looks like it's going to focus on John Dory Sr. and June. I think it's going to be, a little bit more of that. Hopefully we'll get to see more and more characters in episodes. We won't see just one character development episode. Hopefully see more of that because, again, it's only going to be 8 episodes. So we're 2 episodes down, episode 3 and then episode 4, and that's halfway through the first part. So, but overall, it's another decent episode. It's Morgan, is definitely captivating. I like that. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Strand and Morgan. Hopefully it's an epic showdown, and I just hope Morgan takes out Strand. I think that's what we need to see. But we could see that Strand's group and everything in the tower with Howard and all that stuff, are they going to go to Padre? Padre. We'll have to see if that is where Alicia is and who's there and what's going on with that and what happened in the bunker. So we're still waiting for that, but no signs of Alicia. So let's talk about World Beyond a little bit for the last 12 minutes or so. So World Beyond, the first 4 episodes. The first episode, I vote for Pedro, yeah, but it's Padre, not Pedro. But the World Beyond first 4 episodes, the first one's kind of really slow. Second one's pretty good. Third one's pretty good. And the 4th episode that I watched today is okay. It picks up where episode 203 left off with Huck, who's Jennifer, by the way, Jennifer Malik. Jennifer and Hope are there at the perimeter. Hope comes over to Iris comes over to Hope. They hug, they talk. Felix and Will kill a walker, and as they're walking back, they come and they see Huck and Hope, and it's like, what's going on here? So Will's like, she can't see me because, we're going to get in trouble. And Felix is like, well, what are we going to do? We got to do this. Felix is like, I'm walking over. Felix walks right over to them and is like, look, what are you doing here? What's going on? Hope is excited to see Felix because they're both alive. Then we see Elton sees Hope. he starts freaking out because the last time Hope and Elton saw each other or talked, Elton knows that Hope is the one that killed his mom. So that ain't good. So that freaks out Elton, and I forget her name. Asha or something her name is, the girl that's with the daughter of the person who runs the perimeter. She talks with Elton, and they kind of have a bonding moment there. There's a little something going there, which is cute. But Hope, Iris, Felix, and Huck talk. The leader of the perimeter is like, there ain't no bloodshed here. It hasn't been since the start of it. So Huck gives up her rifle, and Felix gives up his sword knife thing with the thing. And they talk. And Felix hates Huck and, wants to know what she's doing here. Can't trust her. Does this and that. Hope's like, just come back with me, guys. What we're going to do is our dad's going to want to, cause some problems if you don't come back with us. Huck's like, look, you can't just come back with us, but we'll drive to as far as we can go. We'll drop you off, and then you'll get there on your own, saying you discovered it. Iris is like, we can't go there without a way of getting out. We're not that stupid. What are you talking about? Because Iris and Felix basically know that the Civic Republic, well, the military, are responsible for the campus colony, Omaha, not making it. So it's basically an episode that everybody wants to kill Huck. Felix wants to kill Huck. Percy wants to kill Huck. Just everybody wants to take Huck out. Because Percy sees that Huck's there. And remember, he got shot by Huck. So they talk and they do this. Iris and Hope want to talk alone. Huck wants to go for a walk. And Felix is like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. And Huck smacks his arm away and walks into the woods. As he's walking in the woods, Felix hits Huck in the back of the head. Even though it's Jennifer, it's easier to call her Huck. She gets knocked down on the ground. Felix comes over, knocks the walker down, picks the walker up like it's a sack of dirt, like it's easy. Puts the walker in Jennifer's face and is like, yeah, and then kills the walker, or throws the walker away and then kills the walker. He's like, I'm not going to kill you yet. So will Felix take out Huck later on this season? How's it going to go down? But it's basically building like Huck's going to find out that her mom has lied to her, that the Civic Republic is terrible. The Civic Republic took out Omaha, the campus colony. Just for some reason, we still don't know why. It's still like, what is going on here? Why are we not seeing information that we want to see? So we're still waiting for that. And it's episode 4. If we only got 10 episodes, man, we're running out of episodes here, right? So Elton freaks out, walks away. He comes across this hut thing. He opens up the cooler. There's medicine supplies in there too with the CRM logo on the side. Like, when in doubt, brand it. Here you go. Want this cooler? CRM. Brought to you by CRM. And as he walks out, I'm just going to call her name Asha. I forget her name. But she says to Elton, what are you doing in there? I saw medical supplies. What's going on here? Well, I'm sick. So she says that she's sick. But at the end, we find out that her mother is sick. She's getting dialysis from the Civic Republic, but the medicine, the ability for dialysis, the machine. So she's doing something to provide the Civic Republic with trade so she gets the medical supplies. No one else knows about the leader of the perimeter being sick. And she says, what about Elton? Well, the daughter says, well, I lied and said I was sick. So he's not going to say anything about it. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'm guessing the perimeter is not going to make it because if you know some of the trailer, you know that Dev is going to be killed, and we'll have to see what's going to happen with the leader and stuff there too. So I believe Aisha Taylor directed this episode. It's another good-looking episode. It flows very well, and it's something that builds for a future episode. So what else happens? Iris and Hope talk. They talk about things with, what's actually happening, and Hope finds out the truth that what Iris knows. And, you see Hope was like Iris. No, Iris is like Hope. Like Iris basically and Hope have flip-flopped their personalities and how they see things, see the world. You can kind of see where they were in season 1 and season 2. They're different now too. So ultimately we see them switch their viewpoints on life, but Iris and Felix do not go back to the Civic Republic with Hope and Huck. Also, Percy breaks into the armory and he takes Huck's rifle. As Will and Felix are talking, Felix sees Percy in the window. And he doesn't know that Percy and Elton are there, I believe, because they were away when they arrived. So Percy takes the rifle, gets into the woods, spots Huck, is about to fire. Will intervenes, runs over to Huck and says, hey, and Huck's like, whoa, Will, you're alive? Because Will's, not supposed to be alive, I guess. And so Felix runs over and they all talk. And so Huck starts to find out more about, what's really going on. And that's basically what the thing is. Felix and Will intervene. Percy does not fire at Huck, and he, I guess, puts the rifle back and whatever. So ultimately, nothing really happens there with that. But also we see Silas, who is doing his thing, killing the walkers. They play the loud music, the fireworks, attracts all the walkers. They blow them up. And then also there's one of those battery pack thing walkers that they kind of hook and bring them in. It's kind of wishful thinking that the thing wouldn't blow up, but it does, or it survives, and the walkers around it blow up from the things. And I guess that's designed to attract the walkers there, kill them, dispose of them, and clean it up. But it's not really explained that much to me, at least, or unless I missed it. So Silas is looking up. He sees a helicopter. He's freaking out a little bit, trying to leave, and does this. So the guy stitches up his hand, the person that's with Huck, stitches up his hand. They talk, and basically they bond a little bit. Silas tries to leave. He gets captured by the other three people that are there. He's put to the test. He's put into like a warehouse with some walkers, given a baseball bat, and he's got to kill so many walkers. He kills the walkers. Turns out they have no teeth, and there's really no threat to Silas, but he doesn't know that. And they bond a little bit. And then one of the guys that's with Silas in that group at the end gets sent, or is going to get sent to the Civic Republic for training. So I guess that's their way out. If they work hard enough, they can get out of there. I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but we'll have to see. But as Silas is talking with the guy that's with Huck, he says that my friends are in trouble. They're in danger. One of them is, a killer. And he says Huck. And we're like, oh, but this dude doesn't know who Huck is. He knows her as Jennifer Malik. We know her as Huck. So it's not a thing like he knows Huck. He knows this. He's there too. So we'll have to see what builds up for that. But Silas stays at this place, and the one guy is going to go to the Civic Republic for training to get up and work his way up, right? So Hope and Huck leave the perimeter just by themselves. Iris and whoever, they don't go with them. So Hope goes back, finds a package for her in the thing. It's a little Jenga piece from the guy when they played Jenga the last episode, and so there's a little romance building there. And also we see Elizabeth Kublik making a video. Oh, we mourn our loss from the campus colony in Nebraska and our alliance of the three. Portland, we're still there for you, and they're working on things. And it's kind of like a video to, keep the connections going and their alliance going strong. As she's making the video, Huck comes in, and Elizabeth finishes the video. She's like, oh, were you watching the entire time? And they stop the video and they talk. And Hope's like, were there any survivors of Omaha? How many people survived? I know you said they were airlifted out, but do you have a list of them? And Elizabeth Kublik doesn't answer. She dodges the question. She gets mad, and she's like, well, you just got your status back. I don't want you to have any confidential information that causes problems. So she dodges the question. And also at the beginning of the episode, we see a flashback that Huck washed up ashore with her arm was all busted up, and she had the cut on her face. But we know that Huck cut herself in the face. And she says, well, these elderly couple they find Huck, and they say, "Hey, welcome to Nebraska," or welcome to Omaha, I think they say. So they find her, and then at the end of the episode, we see that Huck and Elizabeth Kublik have kind of a disagreement. Elizabeth Kublik leaves. Huck starts to question things like, man, maybe she's really been lying to me the entire time, because she knows if they did anything in Omaha or the campus colony, it would go through Elizabeth Kublik. Elizabeth Kublik has that power and that control. And Huck says, well, she would have told me. Well, Felix says, do you really know her that well? You've been lying your whole life. What makes you think she hasn't been lying either? So clearly, Elizabeth Kublik's been lying, and now Huck knows. Then at the end of the episode, we see it's a flashback where Huck has like the longer hair. She comes in after cutting her cheek, comes out. Elizabeth Kublik is there, and she's like, what did you do to your face? And she's like, I'm ready to do this. And she's like, I just want you to know, Jennifer, that I love you. Mom to daughter bonding moment. Elizabeth helps Huck put her arm down on some cinder blocks, and a CRM soldier goes boom and breaks Huck's forearm. So it was designed to plan her to wash up on shore, be injured, and she broke her forearm for it. And I'm thinking I'm pretty sure that's how the episode ends. And so that's how it ends for episode 104 or 204, I should say. And overall, it's another stepping stone building block episode. Next week episode, I didn't see Jadis at all in the trailer. We see that Huck is kind of being in trouble because she went into Elizabeth Kublik's office. One of the soldier people dimed her out, and we'll have to see what goes on from there. But Jadis is still not in the previews. Will she show up? I'm not sure too. So ultimately, guys, that is my time. I'll be back next Sunday to continue I'll probably talk about the trailer for The Walking Dead season 11B. I'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead 703, World Beyond 205. And so still no Jadis, still working on what's going to happen with Air. I did hear that we will talk about how Jadis started the trash people. We'll have to see what's up with that. Is Jadis going to have to go after Huck? Like, is she this assassin person now? Is we going to talk about Rick and that voyage there? We'll have to see. But I'll be back next week, guys, next Sunday for my live stream. I'll be having videos throughout the week. I got a video coming out tomorrow about another group that we'll see in The Walking Dead season 11. And to me, who it has to be. And also, we'll be making different videos, different information too. So thank you guys. I'll be here. Nice. Mike says his wife may be here next Sunday, Brad. Her name is Sasha. Well, hopefully Mike and Sasha, or just Sasha. If you guys will be here, back next Sunday. Thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, sacrificing stuff to get stuff done. You can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do things. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episodes. If you haven't seen them yet, Talking Dead, all that good stuff.